Okay, so what I'm going to demonstrate today is our hotel web app that we use at our hotel in York. The business objective was to provide an easy-to-use interface in a browser that could be used by our guests on any mobile device or PC. Also, internally, to improve our processes and reduce paperwork. So, after making a reservation and a couple of days before arrival, we'll send a text message to the guest inviting them to pre-register. There's a link in the text message. They would click on the link and they would then come to the pre-registration page. Alternatively, the guest can just turn up at reception on their day of arrival and we can get them registered at reception on a tablet. So what I'm going to demonstrate is what we see on the tablets when the guest arrives. What we'll do first of all is ask for the guest name, and the system will default to today's date. So we can find the guest. If there happens to be two guests with the same name in different rooms, unrelated, then we'll prompt for further information such as a booking reference number. So this screen will also tell us the number of nights the guest is staying, and the number of guests in the room, and which room number has been assigned to them. We just confirm how many guests are staying in the room, and then we collect the guest information, the primary guest information and the secondary guest information. If this is already known, this will be pulled through from the booking system, or if it is different to the main booker, we can collect the information for the guests here. We can also collect the nationality. If the nationality is non-British, we can also collect a passport number. We then check the address. If the address is incorrect or there's no address provided at all, we can change or collect a new address. We use a postcode lookup software service to find the address. All we need to do is collect the house number and the postcode, and the address is found, and then we can move to the next screen where we collect the mobile phone number and the email address. We then ask the guest if they require a parking place, and if so, we collect the car registration number, and then we also ask permission to send the guests future emails about special offers to cover GDPR requirements, and we also intend to put a second box in to get permission from the guest to send their email to third-party review collectors like TripAdvisor. Once we've collected all this information, we can click the accept button, and that will then congratulate the guest on completing the online check-in process. We check the payment information, and if payment is not yet taken, there is another screen here that provides us the means to collect the payment method, and then it's up to your own processes to decide how you're going to collect the payment from the guest. We also at this point send the guest a link in a text message again directly to the application with a secure token so that they're taken straight in. They don't have to log in again once they've received the text message. We also then take them to the web application directly from the booking process as well. So this is the web app that the guest sees once they've registered with us and checked in, and what we have here is various functionality that the guest can use. Now, hotel web apps that we've looked at elsewhere, what these tend to be are really information systems that display content. There's very little functionality available in these web apps that is useful for the guest. It's more of a, here's some information, which is very similar to what's on the website. It's really an extension of the website. What we do here is actually provide useful functionality for the guest to make their stay more enjoyable with us. For example, we can click on the breakfast icon and the guest can pre-order their breakfast. So they can select a time slot, and then it takes them through to a menu screen where we have menu groups that can be set up. These can be all configured by the administrator. So we have menu groups containing menu items, more than one menu group can be set up, and the user simply checks the checkboxes for what they would like on their breakfast order. If the menu group has a checkbox and you check on the menu group checkbox, it will check all of the items, all of the menu items within that group. If you uncheck it, it will uncheck, or you can just check individual items, or you can check the whole menu group and then uncheck certain items. So the guest will just work through the menu and then save. As they've got the option to change the order, they can go back in any time and change the order, or they can just go back to the main menu. What else they can do from here is they can control their room climate. Now we have at our hotel a Wi-Fi heating and cooling system, so we've linked the web application through an API to the heating and cooling system, so we can collect or display the current room temperature and also allow the user to increase or decrease the set temperature to whatever they're comfortable with. We have air conditioning, so we can also turn the air conditioning, or the user can also turn the air conditioning on or off. We also provide a free shuttle service for the guests into town. Not every hotel obviously has this, but it's a functionality that can be turned on or off. We run in 3 times a day with a set time, so the user can book his seat on the shuttle by simply clicking the checkbox. We also have a messaging center, so the guest can at any time send a message to reception. That will send the message to reception, and they can then reply and fulfill the request if so needed. This works. You can build up a conversation using this messaging center as well. Other functionality, we also have the ability to indicate whether the guest is in or out of the room for the room attendant to service the room, and you can also request that the room not be serviced or serviced as you require. That information from the room attendant is then fed through to the room attendant's schedule, so they can see what rooms need to be serviced and also whether the guest is in or out of the room. Other functionality is more of from an information perspective. We have a weather module that takes the user through to AccuWeather. We also have room information, so this can be configured per room, so that if there's a particular bit of information you need to inform the user about a particular room, you can do so here. Now it's just text-based at the moment, but we do intend to add the ability to incorporate pictures into this room information page as well. The guest can also, if he's enjoyed his stay, we hope he's enjoyed his stay with us, he can book again, which simply takes us through to the free to book booking module. And the dining link just takes us through to Google, where we list the restaurants in the nearby restaurants on a map. So that's the basic functionality that the guest sees. The feedback we're getting has been very positive, particularly the room climate control and the breakfast ordering system. The breakfast ordering system, then the information we collect from the guests is fed through to our kitchen staff, so it also helps them to prepare breakfast, and also the serving staff can see what the guests' orders are even before they arrive, so they can be prepared in advance if necessary. I will demonstrate that in a separate video. So that concludes the first iteration of our hotel web app for the that is guest facing. So this is what the guest sees. There's a lot of functionality going on behind the scenes that is available to management. So the information that's collected is available in several reports. I've mentioned the kitchen and serving side of the application, and also the room attendant side. So I'll demonstrate all of that in a separate video. Thank you.